Hello everyone and welcome back to the Tekno NT48 2.0 video build. This video is going to be short and sweet and cover one install item only, the shocks. They're not complicated but do require some extra attention to maximize performance. So without further ado, let's start by opening bag L. Before we assemble shocks, we like to install all of the O-rings first. This makes it easier since we won't have any fluids on our fingers. The upper and lower shock guides are directional. Pay close attention to these when installing. Make sure the lower cartridge cap is very tight. This will prevent leakage around the seal. Follow the same build steps for the other front shock. Press firmly on the piston to make sure it fully seats on the shock shaft. A dab of shock oil on the threads will help prevent them from damaging the internal O-rings during install. Tekno gives us a full droop shock length, which we'll check when the shocks are fully assembled. For now, just make sure the lower shock rod end screws all the way on until you can no longer see the threads on the shaft. We added some fluid to the shock body to help lubricate the collar O-ring during installation. Be careful though, as the threads are extremely fine, making them easy to cross-thread. Fill the shock to the top with fluid, then plunge the shaft up and down a few times to remove any air from under the piston. Set the shock aside to let the air bubbles rise and move on to the other front shock. Make sure this itty-bitty O-ring is completely seated on the teeny tiny screw prior to installation. This combo is used to bleed air out of the shock. Fit the bladder all the way into the shock cap. It should almost snap into place. Add a little bit more fluid to the shock, then screw the cap on. Excess fluid will funnel out the hole in the side of the shock cap. Here is where you can set the rebound of the shock. There are roughly three settings: 0% rebound, 50%, and 100%. We like to start off our shocks with 0 rebound, or fully compressed when the bleeder screw is installed. Leave the shaft all the way out when installing the bleeder screw to set the rebound to 100%. Tekno gives us a full droop shock length of 117 millimeters. Check both and adjust by tightening or loosening the lower shock eyelet. The NT48 2.0 comes with right and left-hand thread lower shock screws. The black screw, or right-handed thread, goes on the left side of the car, while the chrome, or left-handed thread, goes on the right. Okay, onto the rear shocks. Same procedure as the front, just using longer shocks. We'll blast through this a little bit faster since we already know what we're doing. Again, make sure the lower cartridge cap is as tight as possible. Like the front, we're starting the rear shocks with zero rebound. Tekno gives us a full droop rear shock length of 134 millimeters. Check both and adjust by tightening or loosening the lower shock eyelet. Like the front, we are using left-hand and right-hand threaded screws on the rear of our Truggy. This time, however, the right-hand threaded screw goes on the right-hand side, while the left-hand threaded screw goes on the left. There we go, the Tekno NT48 2.0 shock package is done. This is an easy but important step to maximizing the performance of your Nitro Truggy. We thank you for following along and hope you'll give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos in this series. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.